it is really insane to watch the different ways that people are bowing down to fascism right now. Like tonight, I just watched Greg Gutfeld on Jimmy Fallon. Like the Greg Gutfeld from the late-night comedy show Gutfeld was on Jimmy Fallon tonight, yucking it up with him about his new reality show on Fox Nation. And Jimmy Fallon was just sitting there, like, laughing along with him as if Greg Gutfeld is some, like, incredibly famous and interesting person. Like, the man started by telling a 5-minute story about how him and Fallon met, and Jimmy Fallon, like, wrestled somebody and stole his cigarette, and, like, it made no sense. I was like, is this real? And it was really fucking stupid and awkward. And then he went on to talk about his mom and how she was definitely cooler than him when he was a child, and Jimmy Fallon was like, oh, I'm sure she's so proud of everything you've done. Like, congratulations on everything you've accomplished. Like, look at this shit.
Your mom was actually a big part of the show.
That is right.
You actually named her a senior correspondent.
Yeah, I called her senior correspondent because she's 80.
Yeah.
And, you know what her job was?
No.
Her job was to watch Fox News. She would watch Fox News and tell me what was going on during the day.
Yeah.
And it was like, she was always upset because all the women wore short skirts. That was her thing. And she says, I don't need to see their you-know-what. And I'm going, Mom, other people do.
But did she make for good TV, right?
She's great. In fact, here's the weird thing. You know, when you're growing up, you don't want your friends to meet your parents.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to stop there. What the fuck, dude? Your mom's complaint was that all the women on Fox News wear short skirts, which they do because Roger Ailes was a disgusting pervert. And Rupert Murdoch didn't care enough and just continued that tradition of all the women on Fox News wearing the shortest dresses humanly possible. And Gutfeld's response to that is to just say, well, Mom, you might not want to see their legs, but other people do. And Fallon just doesn't even acknowledge that. He just moves on from Greg Gutfeld and Fox News being disgusting and misogynist. Like, I watch Gutfeld. I watch a lot of Gutfeld, and that show is disgusting. Greg Gutfeld is so misogynistic. He hates women. Like, they have entire episodes where they just talk shit about women's sports. Not trans women in sports. They specifically talk shit about cis women athletes. Like, they hate women on Gutfeld. And Fallon doesn't care. He's just laughing along with him. Anyway, I interrupted. Please go on, Gutfeld, about how your friends liked your mom more than they liked you.
People do.
But did she make for good TV, right?
She's great. In fact, here's the weird thing. You know, when you're growing up, you don't want your friends to meet your parents. You're always embarrassed about it. I brought my friends over, and they loved her. And then there were times when I would come home, and my friends would already be there.
Yes.
They'd be in the backyard with my mom.
I had that too.
Yeah,
my friends love my parents.
Yes, and so they dumped me for my mom. So I realized at that point that she was good. Like, she was no BS, and she was a supporter of everything I did, yeah. Which is like your mom, and it's like it's a big deal, you know. And she saw Red Eye take off. She saw me on the 5. She didn't see me for the rest of the stuff, but that's probably well and good.
No,
you know.
She's probably proud. Very, very proud of you. Congrats on everything you've done. That's amazing. It's good to have a supportive mom.
He says, congrats on everything you've done. Like, it's fucking Greg Gutfeld. He hosts a late-night comedy show where they talk shit about women and tell poorly timed and poorly written jokes. Like, genuinely, this is so bizarre. And then Jimmy Fallon got all giddy about this new reality show and how he's super excited about it.
In addition to Gutfeld and the 5, you started hosting a new game show.
Yeah, it's called What Did I Miss?
No, I'm excited about this.
Oh, this is the greatest idea for a game.
He says, in addition to Gutfeld and the 5, as if the 5 is some world-renowned journalistic show, when it's just him and Jesse Waters, and before she was appointed by Donald Trump to be the new U.S. attorney out of D.C., Janine Pirro, and they just spread misinformation and say horrifying things. Like, remember how super funny it was when Greg Gutfeld went on a rant about how they should just lean into being called Nazis? How they should do like the blacks do with the N-word? That was super funny, Jimmy Fallon. Why don't you bring that up? And by the way, this is just a desperate and obvious attempt by Jimmy Fallon to try and avoid the wrath of Donald Trump. Because Trump has already gone after Stephen Colbert, and Paramount and CBS canceled Stephen Colbert's show. Jimmy Fallon and his producers are probably afraid that they're going to meet the same fate. But Jimmy, this desperate and sad attempt to try and relate and laugh along with Greg freaking Gutfeld is not going to work, man. That's what these people don't get about fascism. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you grovel. Fascism will destroy you. You either get crushed by it for speaking out, or you get turned into a tool of the fascist regime. Either way, you completely lose yourself in the mix, Jimmy. Like, just the other day, Trump was asked about Howard Stern because I guess his show is ending now, and he was asked about Stephen Colbert, and he responded by saying, "We're coming for Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel next."
I've got an entertainment-based question for you. A few weeks ago, Stephen Colbert announced that he was leaving his show. Howard Stern announced that him and Sirius XM Radio are parting ways. Do you think the hate Trump business model that's been in the entertainment business is going out of business because it's not popular with the American people?
Well, it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning. Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here, I could go outside on the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, you know, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern is a name I haven't heard. I used to do a show, we used to have fun, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened?
Yeah, Jimmy, you can grovel all you want to the likes of Greg Gutfeld. Trump doesn't care. He's coming after you. He is going to steamroll over the entire late-night comedy industry, the entire media landscape, unless people use their platforms to stand up against him. But no, Jimmy Fallon, you're just going to cower and interview Greg freaking Gutfeld and laugh along with him as if he's funny, as if he's interesting, as if he's even important outside of the insulated Fox universe. This shit had me reeling. It was so cringy to watch this. Like, I've really never liked Jimmy Fallon. He always kind of came across as disingenuous to me, but that was some cowardice bullshit. Greg Gutfeld gets on his platform every single day and peddles vile misinformation, vile misogyny. He worships at the altar of Trump. And he comes on your show and you ask him about his mom, and you tell him that his mom is probably proud of him, and you ask him about some dumb new game show that he's hosting. And by the way, the game show is Fox Nation locks people in a house and doesn't give them access to the news, and then 100 days later they quiz them on the news. And Gutfeld and Jimmy Fallon were laughing about how hard it is to, like, realize what's real when it comes to Trump. And Gutfeld's example was like, yeah, if you ask these people, like, true or false, Trump wants to annex and take over Canada. And Fallon's like, oh, it's so funny, because, like, it's Trump, so it's probably true. As if that's not a very real thing that happened. As if Canada is no longer our allies. As if Canada isn't increasing their military spending and boycotting us. Like, this shit is not funny. And by the way, Trump and Gutfeld and coward Jimmy Fallon, the Trump-hating business is booming. South Park got like a $1.2 billion contract to mercilessly make fun of your administration, Trump. And people are watching and loving it, and your administration is crying about it. So I don't know, like, I don't have bosses telling me what I can and can't say, but I cannot imagine being such a coward that Greg Gutfeld comes on my show and I have the chance to interview him and I just sit there and laugh along with him. In the shadows of everything that's going on right now, that is just some cowardice nonsense. Fascism can only take total control if people bow down and let it. And Jimmy, you are just on your knees, face in the dirt, letting them walk all over you, man. Pathetic. Cowardice. Desperate. Trump is still gonna come after you, man. Like, despite this desperate cowardice attempt. You might as well use your platform to speak out against the wrongs in the world, not normalize it.
I brought fun by the gallon to our pal, Jimmy Fallon. Our video of the day comes from The Tonight Show, where I was a guest last night. Spoiler alert, it went great. Here's a clip.
Welcome to the show.
That brought back memories.
Yeah, this is hilarious. We've met before.
Yes, you have no memory of it, which is understandable because we were wasted. So I walk into this bar, and I'm with my friend Andy, and then I see you, and you look at me, and you have your eyes just kind of explode, and you run
towards me and you tackled me like you're like a giant golden retriever.
I'm sorry I tackled you.
I know. It was great, though. It was all very good-natured, and it was a great memory, and I'm so glad I finally got to tell you about it.
I'm so happy. Thank you, and welcome back. Welcome to the show. Thank you for telling us. I'm happy. That's a true story.
Thanks for leaving out all the jokes. But it went so well all the way home, I couldn't stop talking about it with my Uber driver. Seriously. And we had just as much fun backstage, though things got tense when I accidentally walked into the Jonas Brothers dressing room 5 times. But it was nothing like the critics predicted. They expected me, Mr. Evil Fox News, to attack Jimmy Fallon, and they were mad when I didn't. But I went on the show for the same reason I started this show. Late night needs more fun. I was a gracious guest to a nice guy, and if you expected me to tear into Jimmy, then you're as clueless and boring as Stephen Colbert interviewing Kamala Harris. It took guts for Fallon to have me on the show, not only because he risked criticism from the left, but it exposed his audience to his handsome, witty, muscular competition. And talk about this coincidence. Jimmy Fallon's contract has just been renewed by NBC through 2028. You see that, Colbert? You should have had me on. And there's still time, Mr. Kimmel. I'll even bring the tissues.